everybody, Amy Balzer-Tennant here, the Genealogy Reporter, and it is another episode of Genealogy Tip Tuesday. Today we're talking about find a grave, whether it is a treasure trove, a gold mine, if you will, or a trap. It might be both. If you're not familiar with Find a Grave, you can check it out for yourself at www.findagrave.com. The idea is to digitally record all the tombstones, cemetery inscriptions, and so forth from around the world. It's gone one step further where people are adding obituaries, biographies, pictures of the individual, and even attaching an individual to their family members. And so a lot of genealogy newbies take a look at Find a Grave and say, here are all the answers, and they just start filling in their pedigree chart with information they've gathered from Find a Grave, assuming that it's correct. And that is not something that we would want to encourage. It's great for hints. It may be great for pictures and biographies, but you've got to do your due diligence. So let's pop over to the computer, look at a couple of examples, and I'll show you how to verify information you find on Find a Grave so that it turns into a gold mine and not a trap. Okay, so here we are at Find a Grave, and you'll notice that I have signed in, but it is not necessary to sign in as long as you're just doing research or searching rather the records. I'm going to put in a name here, James Coddington. I do not like to use the year born or year died, because if it's not what you think it is, then it might be hard to find. It may not show up in your results list. The cemetery location, I don't know which cemetery he was buried in, but he lived his life in Bureau County, Illinois. And then I'm going to click search. Okay, I've got two here. James Coddington, looks like the birth date of 1798. But I'm interested in James Harvey Coddington, born 1847. So I'm going to click there. Wow, this is a fantastic picture of James Harvey Coddington. But how do I know it's actually James Harvey Coddington? Does he have a sign, on his lapel there that says "My name is"? No, he doesn't. So I want to be really careful whether or not I accept this as actually being a photograph of James Harvey Coddington. And so I'm going to see who added the photo right down here at the bottom. Photo added by K. Roberts. Now, if I click on her name, and I'm going to open up another window, it tells me that K. Roberts has been a member for 14 years, 11 months. And here's her email. And I can email her, or I can send her a message via the message system here at Find a Grave and ask her where she got that picture. She may have gotten it from a book. She may have gotten it from a relative. Maybe she's a relative and she owns the picture herself. So I want to find out, where did this picture come from? All right, let's go back. Now, let's scroll down a little ways, and you'll notice it has a birth date for James Harvey Coddington as 25 January 1847. But the tombstone, which is down here at the bottom left, gives the birth year as 1847 and no specific date. So where did that come from? How do I know that the 25 January is the correct birth date for my James Harvey Coddington? Well, I don't. Not by looking at this record or this picture of the tombstone. But it's a great clue, right? Also, the fact that he was born in Bureau County, Illinois. How do I know that that is accurate? I don't. By looking at the tombstone, I don't know. There's no proof of that. So I would need to go find a record that indicates he was born in Bureau County, Illinois. The same is true with his death date. You'll notice here we've got 1924 on the tombstone, but up here at the top we have that he died on the 7th of September in 1924, again in Princeton, Bureau County, Illinois. And we don't have a record for that. So again, we need to find a record. Now, if we scroll down, we've got all these family members. How awesome. We've got a family tree. We've got parents, our James Coddington, his mother's Catherine Fear Coddington, a couple of siblings, Anna and Henry, his spouse, looks like Elizabeth Keel Coddington, so Keel would be her maiden name, and all these children. That's great. Great clues, great information. There are no records on this website to prove that James Coddington and Catherine Fear Coddington were his parents, or that those were his siblings, or that that was his wife and those are his kids. That is your due diligence. You need to go out and search for records that prove that. So be very careful when you are using Find a Grave, where it is a gold mine of information and it might be very valuable. The picture might be accurate. The dates might be accurate, but do your work and go looking for those extra records to support the information that you find on Find a Grave. Additionally, if you scroll down to the bottom, you'll notice that this memorial page was set up by the same person, Kay Roberts. That is not always the case. I found in many cases that a memorial will be set up by one individual, a biography of the person is put out by another, and then yet another person contributes the picture. So contact each of the people who have donated, or rather contributed, to your ancestors' Find a Grave memorial. Reach out to them. You might be surprised. Several years back, I reached out to a person who had created a memorial for an ancestor of mine, and not only did I get information that I needed for our family tree, but I got 20 family history photos they were in possession of, and they shared those with me. It was awesome. So it really turned out to be a gold mine in my case. Thanks for joining us here on Genealogy Tip Tuesday. Please like our video and subscribe to our channel. We need you. Join us again for Genealogy Tip Tuesday, and happy hunting. Bye-bye.